Hi there, welcome to another exciting episode of Archives of Becoming. I am Kelvin Ibrahim, and on every episode, we get the opportunity to listen and learn about different people's journeys of transformation, how their identities change, and how their lives have been transformed over time. Today, I have the pleasure and the honor to interview, not an interview now, to discuss. I don't want it to be an interview, to discuss with someone that I respect so much, someone that I've looked up to over the years, and I feel very jealous having to share, this our discussion with you. But count yourself very, very lucky to to listen to the conversation we're about to have now. He's the senior pastor of Trinity House Center, Trinity House Church here in Lagos, Nigeria, and he's so many things to so many people. He's a spiritual father. He's a father. He's an uncle. I think he's an accountant as well. There's so much that we need to uncover today. So join me as we get on this journey together. I'd like to introduce to you to my own senior friend and uncle and daddy and so many things, Pastor Ituah Ighodalo. Nice to meet you, sir.
Thank you, Kelvin. Thank you for inviting me here.
Thank you so much. Such an honor to sit with you today. And I always remind you every time that I met you at the experience. I can't remember the year, 2018 or 2019. And I don't know if that happens to so many people, but there's the presence that you have. So when people meet you, you don't. That's my own, definition or experience. There isn't so you can't. You know how you meet, certain people, and you have an idea of what you're going to expect. But with you, you just don't know what you see, or what you see is what you get. And so I walked up to you and I greeted you, and you were very calm and you were very welcoming. You're like, "Oh, what's your name?" And then you're like, "Oh, okay." I was just like, "Oh, I've been following your story over the years and everything." And then you gave me your card, and it was my fault I didn't keep in touch after in the years. But something I really want to point out is the fact that I remember I called you. I think I sent you a message first, and then I called you from the UK, and you answered. When you answered, you're just like, "Which Kelvin is this?" And I tried to explain. You're just like, "Oh, okay, okay." So, and then I said, "Oh, this is what I'm trying to do, and I'd like to interview you." You did, some other people will be the first thing they will say is, "Where did you get my number? Who are you? What's this going to be about?" The thing you said was, "Okay, when do you want to do it, and how long will it be?" I looked at my phone. I was just like, "What?" I was expecting, "Oh, you need to go and talk to my assistant. You need to book this, that." And I don't know about you guys, but that sort of made me respect you even more, because you could have said you're very busy, and it's understandable you're very busy. But the thing you said is like, "When do you want to film it, and how long will it take?" And since then, I've the respect I had for you just went like. So I'm so honored and I'm so thankful that we're doing this today.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the trouble. And I do know that it's a good thing that you're doing,
Thank you, sir.
documenting experiences of people,
Yes, sir.
because it's always valuable for others to learn from the experience of people.
Yes, sir.
Some good experiences, some not so good experiences.
Yeah.
But an experience is an experience.
True.
Once it's an experience,
Yeah.
it becomes something good.
Very true. Yeah, so it's good that you say that, because I was doing a bit of research about you recently, and there's something I found out, and I was just like, "There's no way that you've seen a farm." Because if people meet you, it's just like, "Oh, he's gentle, he's an ajabo, he's enjoyed life." And I was reading, I was just like, "You guys had a farm when you were young, and so you had to, join your parents to work on the farm, and that sort of instilled certain skills and trainings in you." I was just like, "No, that's not possible. Let's start from there." Was that
That's a good
true?
one. Not many people go from that angle. And that's
Yeah, because we have to unravel. We need to
Yeah.
get to the root of
We
it.
had just not one farm. We had about 2 or 3 farms
Wow.
when I was growing up. My mother,
Mm.
her father was a cocoa farmer, and therefore she never let us, her children, forget that she's the daughter of a farmer, regardless of what we see and the
Yeah.
privileges we seem to have, and that we are grandchildren of farmers.
Hmm.
My father loved farming also and hunting.
Hmm.
He had this rifle, still in the house, that he used to go hunting. He didn't kill many things, but he will still go and hunt. So we have a big farm in Benin, or 20 miles outside of Benin.
Yep.
It's still there till today. And my mother had a farm. Then it was the outskirts of Ibadan. But now it's right in the city because conurbation has gone and met it. So we've actually had to sell the farm because it became a city and became this and that. And then in the house where we lived, we had a poultry farm also. So I grew up more or less with farm around me. And every Saturday, from when I ever knew, we would wake up early in the morning. My mother had a station wagon, a green station wagon.
Yeah.
We would pile into the station wagon with some farm instruments and things, and we head out to my mother's farm.
Wow.
And there we would join whoever was working on the farm to plant maize, plant yam. So I knew how to plant yam, how to put the thing on the stick and drill it around the stick so that it would grow straight. I knew how to plant maize, I knew how to plant cassava. And when she'd added a piggery to that one, I knew how to clean and look after pigs. And then, of course, there was a poultry in the house, and everybody worked in the poultry. You fed the chicken, you put water in their water trough, you put the feed in the feed trough, and you cleared the droppings. Yeah, that's what we did growing up. And then there was a time when my mom decided that she wanted to, I don't know who advised her, that there's some grass or some kind of leafy grass that chickens like. So she sent us out to other people's compounds
to go
and pick this grass. You know, in Yoruba you call it efo adie. Efo that adie eats. So we'll pick it. Hello, go and bring the efo adie. So we'll go to other people's compounds, pick the grass, and then bring it home, and then they'll mix it with the feed, and she'll give it to the chickens. So that's how I grew up. I mean, that was my the second job apart from going to school. And of course, it became part of our family. My sister did it, my brother did it, we all did it at one time or the other.
How did that shape you, your upbringing, and do you think that even till now, does that humble you in any way, or what were your takes from that experience?
Yes, my mother made us very humble. She insisted that we were ordinary people, and all that we see in terms of civil service privilege, government reservation area, motor vehicles and all that is just a privilege. So she was very disciplined, very simple person, but very, very disciplined. No airs, no graces. We had cousins from everywhere. Some of them, most of them, they were still in the village. So they'll come from the village and come and visit. Now, when they came from the village, and because there was not enough space on the bed, and we had to use mats, my mother would make all of us sleep on the mat with our village cousins, and the bed would be empty. You know, that was how she brought us up. And of course, when we went to the village and in the communal family home, she would throw us with the village children to sleep with them and feed all of us together and so on and so forth. So she made sure that there was no discrimination whatsoever in our upbringing. So it made us very level-headed and even till today, very simple people, no arrogance, no airs, no graces. Respect for human beings. You know, we had house help in the house, but my mother let us know that they were not our house helps. They were there to support us. And each child had a house chore. Okay, mine was cleaning the gutters. So we had a couple of gutters behind the house when we lived in the government reservation area. So my job was to clean a couple of those gutters. My brother had the gutter too, and I think he had this thing. We all laid the table. We washed our dishes. And as soon as I was old enough, she taught me how to cook. My brother escaped that. And because my brother escaped that, she pounced on me.
Oh, wow. So you did all the...
You know, so from age 9, I started cooking. And I cooked until I graduated from university for the family. So my job when I started going to boarding school was at vacation time, I would do the breakfast for the family. Meant that we wake up for devotion about 5:30. After devotion at 5:30, I would go to the kitchen and prepare breakfast for both my parents, and then give them, and not just cook, serve the breakfast. And when they've eaten and gone, then you can do whatever you want. Lunch, somebody else did that. Sometimes I'll do supper, but my job was breakfast at vacation time.
Interesting. Wow. I'm not sure many people know that about you.
Well, not many people ask, and a lot of people just take it for granted.
True.
You know, so, but that's what I did up until when I graduated in 1982. It was when I graduated and came to Lagos to start work that I no longer went home at all for vacation. I'll go and spend a day or two, a couple of nights, and by that time I became a guest. I was no longer a child of the house. So that's when my mom started treating me a little bit with respect, as it were, you know. But up until then, even when I was going to school in England, if I came for summer or Christmas, breakfast was still my assignment until I graduated.
Do you make breakfast today?
Nah, I think I'd had enough of that stuff, that I don't go near the kitchen today.
Very good.
You know, I pay somebody to cook
traumatize
for me.
you from doing it so
I
much.
tell you. When I was in university, I did my own cooking, you know, and my friends would come and eat and all that. So I was quite, well, I won't say I'm a fantastic cook, but I was a decent cook. But as soon as I finished university and I started working, I stopped cooking completely till today. So my children don't know I can cook.
Oh, wow.
They have no idea. And they think I can't cook. It's like people today to think I can't drive because I'm driving all over the place. But I can drive. I started driving at 14, you know, and I drove my mom. That was my second job. I was driver.
She really, really used you for
I was driver. I was driver. So no driver could tell my mother anything, no, because both her sons were drivers, my brother and myself. And it gave us a privilege, of course, in that we could take the car to school, you know, and we didn't know it was such a big deal at that time. I was doing A-levels. I would take my mom, I would take her to the hospital or whatever it was. And after that, I would drive to school, my mother's Mercedes. And I would finish my classes, go back, pick her up, take her here, take her there. And then at night, when I needed to go out to the party or whatever, I'll take the car. So that was my benefit for being a driver. So we quite enjoyed that. So, but people looked at us and thought that these were just boys who enjoyed driving. They didn't know we had to work for that. You know?
Work for the privilege that you enjoyed in the evening.
So, but it was good. It was a good. So we drove.
Balance.
Yeah, it was a very good balance. My parents were a balance of discipline and respect, in that they didn't force you to do anything. They didn't. They made you self-assured. They consulted with you. They made you take decisions. They discussed. They listened, but they also disciplined you. So it was a very nice balance of confidence building, maturing, and discipline.
Would you say that's because they were more or less like professionals or educated? Because that's something that's lacking in today's world. Parents just tell you, "Oh, you do this, you do that." There's no consultation. So at that time, they were doing that. What do you think led to that sort of exposure from them?
I think my mother, especially, her father brought her up like that. You know, she was the fourth child, but the three before her passed. So her father compelled her to mature quickly and gave her leadership of the house. And of course, she went off to school and did very well. So he brought her up to be self-assured. And she transferred that upbringing to us.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Years ago, I think Sanusi Lamido was in the news. I can't remember what for, but you also did something. I can't remember what you did. I don't want to misquote what happened, whether you sent a private jet to get him or something, I don't know. But there was you trying to help him do something. And so when I saw you, in connection to Sanusi Lamido, I was just like, nah, there's something more about this man. Like, so I know you went to King's College, but how did you get into not just Sanusi Lamido? There's some other names that have been associated with you as your friendship with them, and not even necessarily because of ministry, but where did you build that connection at that time? That's because at the time when you became friends with them, you didn't know that they were going to become what they are today. So how did all of that happen?
Yeah, that's very good. So Islam is one of my best friends. We're brothers. We're in and out of each other's houses. And just last week, I was with him in London. He graduated a PhD from SOAS.
Wow.
And so we're there together. And he holds me very dear. I hold him very dear. We met in January 1973 in King's College, both Form 1 students. You know, I think I was one of the first people he met when he got to King's College. He came from Kano, smallish, tiny at that time. He came late to resume school. I'd been in school about a week or 2 weeks before he came, and we're in the same house. So when he came with his little box or whatever it was, they handed him over to me.
To you?
Yes, and said, this is a new student. You've been here a couple of weeks. Show him round, settle him in. So I picked up his box and I took him to my dormitory and put him in a bed beside me. And at the time, he thought I was his senior. He didn't know we were in the same class. And I pretended that I was his senior.
How long did you pretend for?
Well, not more than 2 days because we met each other in the class.
Class, yeah.
So from that day till today, we've been friends and brothers. Okay, I sent a private jet for him. I say amen to that. But not quite, not at all. You know, he was dethroned.
Yes.
In the year 2020. Must have been about February or March. February, March 2020.
Yep.
And he was going to come back to Lagos from wherever they had sent him to. I think Nasir El-Rufai had gone to pick him up from wherever it was.
Yeah.
And they were bringing him straight to Lagos, and somebody had gotten a jet for him, one of his other friends, not me.
Yeah.
And then one of the wives called me and said, your brother is going to be released today, and we want you to be at the airport to receive him because we don't know exactly in what state he will be, and he will need you. So, in fact, my late wife was in hospital that night. She had a little ailment. I had to leave her in hospital and rush to the airport, the private wing, to meet my friend and my brother. So when he came off the plane that evening, I was there to receive him, and I held him and hugged him. And then we went together into a private room with the family, and he asked that we prayed. So I prayed for him that evening, and I think that's the video that went viral. And people started saying, why is a pastor praying for an emir? A pastor will pray for an emir in Jesus' name. And I prayed in Jesus' name. And they all said, Amen. I will pray for anybody who needs prayer. Okay? But Sanusi is not my emir. He's my brother. I love him very much. His entire family. I have access to them. I see them and they see me. We can live in each other's houses. His mother and I are reasonably close. And I wish him very well. He's a very brave man and very, very brilliant. When we were in school, he wasn't that brilliant, but
you could not agree to that.
But here we are. He's a brilliant man, a brave, brilliant man. If we had someone like him in leadership in this country, I'm sure we'll do very well. Okay? And he's fearless. So that's the simple story. You know, we were 11 years old. We became friends. As for most of my other people that I know, I make friends easily, quickly, and I love people. I just simply love people. I'm a private person, love my space, but I love people. And most of the people that so and so, they were nothing, we were friends.
Yeah.
You know, we met as friends. Some of us we met on the football field. Some of us we met at the party before I became born again. I was very great socialite. A lot of parties held in my apartment and so on and so forth. And I have friends from everywhere, every part of the world, and I keep those friends. I keep in touch. I check on them and make sure they're all right. And I'm simple. I don't look for anybody's trouble. I don't compete with anybody. I wish you well.
Yeah.
I mind my business. I'm not competing. I'm not harming you. I just want us to be friends.
Yeah.
If there's things we can do together, fine. If there's nothing we can do together, I'm there to be there for you when you need me.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have learned to take me for my word, to some extent trust me, and to some extent find me willing to help at any time. And then that now evolved into my pastoral assignment or calling,
Yeah.
in that I find myself pastoring and looking after people and being there for people. And it doesn't cost me anything. And I think that's what life is all about. And that's why you find me, if you talk about Kashim Imam, he will say, I tell you, I'm one of his best friends. If you talk about the Sultan of Sokoto, he will say, I'm one of his favorite people. If you talk about this Emir of Onisha, he will say, I'm one of his good young friends. If you talk about P2B, he will say, I'm his friend. Even our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he and I are quite close. Wow. A lot of people would not know or believe that, but very, very close. Especially at a certain time in his governorship of Lagos. I did a lot with him and for him. And I believe in his resilience and so on and so forth. And I keep my friends. I have nothing personal against anybody.
Yeah.
Yemi Oshibaju and I were very good friends. The former Vice President, His Excellency. I meet people and I keep them. And we keep in touch. We don't see all the time, but I'm there for you. Sometimes we may not agree on principles. And the only area where I disagree with people is how to run Nigeria. That's the main area of disagreement. I believe that Nigeria is a great country. I believe that Nigeria can be the greatest country on earth. I believe that with some discipline, with sincerity, with a plan for poor people, and a desire to help them, with a shunning of luxury that a lot of us seem to invest in, with zero corruption. I'm not talking about people making money. People can make money. I love making money. I do business. But not making money in a way that it affects the benefits of other people. And then again, how much money does a man need? How much luxury do you need? But doing things for the benefit of the people, that is my greatest passion. I want Nigeria to be the greatest country in the world. I'm ready to do almost anything to help Nigeria evolve and transform and give disadvantaged people an opportunity to become who God wants them to become.
Can I ask why?
I believe that is what God called me to do. And that is how I was brought up. My mother was the first permanent secretary, female permanent secretary in Nigeria. Okay. She worked hard. She had a passion for Nigeria. She was disciplined. She was focused. And she transferred a lot of that to my brother, Aswe, my sister, Tolu, and myself. Just the three of us. She poured out everything in us. My father was the first accountant of the Midwest Nigeria Development Corporation. That was the corporation that came out of Western Nigeria Development Corporation, also a development corporation to ensure the development of the Midwestern region. So at a certain time, the development of the Midwestern region was being controlled financially by my father, and he instilled those principles into us of developing nations, developing governments, making government run, making it work, making people happy, providing infrastructure, providing social amenities, encouraging people to work hard. My parents encouraged us to work hard and to contribute our own quota to what was going on, and to be simple people, mind our business, and do our best for everybody. And it's part of my DNA, okay? And that's what makes pastoring very easy for me and very pleasurable, in that I like to see people become who God created them to be. That was God's original plan. And that's the most important thing. Salvation, giving your life to Jesus, making sure that God is in control of your life, and then discovering the reason for which He created you, which is part of probably what you are doing without you realizing it, adding value to people's lives. So, and people sometimes are unhappy, sometimes they are frustrated, sometimes they are depressed, sometimes they are on the up and down. The only reason is not because they lack money, because I see a lot of my rich friends also deeply frustrated and quite depressed. It is because they've not discovered purpose. You know, when you discover purpose, the thing that wakes you up in the morning, gets you excited, keeps you going, and keeps you going, you don't have time for depression. But if you have a lot of money, you've made money, you are powerful, you are governor, you are president, but you haven't discovered purpose, and all you are doing with that power and that money is buying one watch after the other, one house after the other, living a big life, flashy up and down. In spite of everything, there will be some emptiness inside. You'll be dissatisfied. You think that the next $1 million will give you money, make you happy. But you make the next 2-3 million, you spend it. Oh, you think the next girlfriend, the next woman, the prettiest girl, you sleep with her. Then what? Then you think, oh, the next party, the next bottle of champagne, the next nothing. But when you are working in purpose, when you are doing what you were created to do, when you are doing what all your body cells find rhythm with and excites you, you can't stop. You just keep going. And at that time, materialism, luxury, and all those things are secondary. They are recessed. Yeah, when it's time to rest, when it's time to watch a good movie, when it's time to be in some comfort and luxury so that you can calm down, you do. Those things are done on a need basis, not to prove any point. You understand?
Yeah.
If you gave me money today, I won't buy a Rolls Royce. I don't need it. There's nothing it's going to do for me. I don't need it to affirm myself or for you to think that I am wealthy or anything. No. What I need is a functional vehicle that can take me from point A to point B in decent comfort and decent strength. So it's a vehicle that can do that for me that I want. I don't need to tell you that this is who I am. I know who I am. So I don't need all those things, okay? Because I know that if I had that money, I could do better things and more productive things with it. It will send quite a few kids to school. It will pay for some people's medication and so on and so forth. And there's some things that you do in terms of good things that nothing, no money can give you in terms of the joy that you get in the face, in the presence of a changed life. And that's what excites me, to see lives change. That's what excites me. And when it's time to go on a private jet on a trip, you go, you come back because you need to. It's essential, it's efficient. But if you don't need to, then you go on your Airpiece, or you go on your British Airways,
Yeah.
or you go on whatever, Arik, whatever it is that takes you there efficiently in decent comfort.
True that.
Okay, because by the time you get to the other side, you want to make sure that you're able to get up and keep going.
Keep going. True.
That's all you need in terms of comfort.
Yeah.
Comfort to make you perform well.
Yeah.
Not comfort to prove a point.
Yeah.
That this and that. There's no need for that. My whole object in life is to perform and perform well. And all I need is the necessary atmosphere around me to make me function at my peak.
Makes sense.
That's all.
Yeah.
Otherwise, every other thing is not important.
Interesting. So, I remember when I came to your office, I've been to Trinity once before, but I've never gone to your office. But when I went to your office, I remember asking someone, I was just like, is there a construction going on, or is this his office? Or because my head, I was just like, that's like a temporary office. There's supposed to be like one massive, elegant office built somewhere that that you'll be sitting. And so even till now I'm not convinced, but the reason I'm saying that is when you gave me your card that year, the card you gave me had, I think it was like your business, like you're an accountant. And so I was trying to make sense of it, like in today's world where a lot of people, ministers, are focused on ministry. You have to pay your tithe, send all the money to me, I need to buy private jets and all of that. What exactly is driving your own approach to what you do, because I know you have like your business, you're an accountant, and then the church. That church just makes you the building now. When you come there, I felt like there was. That's how I saw it. Like there wasn't any need for you to splash so much money into building a building where the sole purpose was for people to come and worship and just leave. And then when I came into your office, I'm just like, why did it like? So I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense. The expectation was they're supposed to take us to like the 11th floor to see like your office, pass through three layers of protocols to be able to see you in the high chair and all of that. And I met you there. I'm just like, something is not adding up. So there's your professional life that you're building and you're focused on, and then there's this ministry. Please make me understand what exactly is going on.
You're asking very interesting questions, and I see that you're very observant. Well, if you research me and you know my history and my trajectory, you probably know where I am today.
Yeah.
So it's very simple. I'm a chartered accountant by profession.
Yeah.
I run, recently retired from executive function in a firm called SIAO, which is the leading indigenous accounting firm in Nigeria. That's what we think we are. Could be proven. There's no stats, but we've worked very hard.
Yeah.
I used to work with Pricewaterhouse. 1987, I started my own firm, Ighodalo & Co. 2004, we merged with my friends, Mr. Smith, Mr. Ojiachi, and myself, and a lady called Mrs. Adewale, to form SIO. And we grew it into becoming maybe the 5th largest accounting practice in Nigeria today.
Wow.
We did it to create something, to create an institution.
Yeah.
Because as individuals, when we're running for work, the big four, PwC, KPMG, and so on, they used to oppress us a lot. EY and all that. Because after you've run very hard, then they say, you're not EY, you're not PW, Ighodalo & Co.
Yeah.
We can't take that one to the stock market in London, blah, blah, blah. I lost a few clients like that, very painful. So at the time when Soludo was doing banking consolidation, and the EYs and the Deloittes and the PwCs, they were gasping. The work was too much. They couldn't cope. And the market was looking for an alternative. My friend Robert Ojiachi, he and I were in the same sort of boat, running individual firms, approached me and said, my friend, why don't we just come together and form like initially it was supposed to be just a little arrangement or whatever you call it, a consortium, and bid for some of these jobs, that if we came together, the market would take us a bit more seriously. And he was right. And so he called me, called Mr. Smith, called Mrs. Adewale. We're all friends. We all sort of grew up together. We did accounting together. Adewale was in the bank. Smith was in KPMG also, retired, started his own firm. Ojiachi ran his own firm. And the market was happy that they had an alternative. And we did very well in that season and decided to make it permanent. And we formed SIO. So my day job is SIO. I'm an accountant. I didn't plan to be a pastor. I just wanted to be a businessman and make money. And then eventually I found that there was a necessity to serve God. That's a different story. So I became born again in 1993, I think it was. Not too long ago, but now it's almost 32 years. As life would have it, I was forced to give my life to Jesus. I was still running Ighodalo & Co. at the time. So I ran my practice. And
Ighodalo & Co. was you?
Was me.
Oh.
Ighodalo & Co. was an accounting practice.
Okay.
I ran it by myself from 1987 to 2004. We ran Ighodalo & Co. And we did reasonably well. At the time I had about 80 to 100 staff. I had a whole office which we bought eventually. But it was a struggle. I will not tell you it wasn't a struggle. It was a struggle because we didn't have what you call brand equity. So when it came to now giving out the big jobs, they will go to the big ones. Because they'll say, most of the banks would rather use a big name because they needed that brand behind them. I'll give you an example. I used to be auditor to an airline called ADC. You may not know them. But at the time, they were the ARIC that you see today, or they were the Airpeace.
Yeah.
They were the biggest local airline in Nigeria. I started when they were just doing body shop, lending themselves to other airlines. It was started by 4 Nigerian Airways pilots that were retrenched. So they came together and they did pilot service. Okay? So after a while, they made quite a bit of money from hiring themselves as pilots to other airlines and international airlines. And then Air Guinea gave them an offer to run Air Guinea. So they ran Air Guinea for a season, made money, and then they made me their auditor. And they started ADC Airlines. Bought the first plane, bought the second plane. When it was time to buy the third plane, and they took their financials to London, where they were going to do a lease of plane, the people looked at them and said, who is Ighodalo uncle? We don't know Ighodalo uncle. Can we trust your accounts, Ighodalo uncle? Don't you have in your country PwC or Coopers or this? So they came back to Nigeria and they said they had to go with Coopers because they needed to have that brand behind them. It was very painful to me because we had all become friends and I had seen them develop from nothing. And now they were comfortable, they were making money. It was time for me to make money with them. They had to go with Coopers for their own survival. Okay? So that was the kind of stress and opposition we faced. I lost about 3 clients like that, who I grew. And when they became big, had to go to PwC or Coopers, or just mainly for the name. I used to work in PwC. So the quality of service is similar. They may have enough, they may have much more money to do research and have a big library, but they trained me and I gave my clients exactly the same quality of service. But for that brand and all that. So, but nonetheless, God help me, I did well. We're moving, we're not, we could have done much better, but we did well. I became born again in the Redeemed Christian Church of God. From there, became an assistant pastor. From there, became a pastor. Unwillingly. I didn't want to. But the system pushed me and God spoke to me. So finally, I found myself pastoring the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Christ Church, in Bagada. Okay? And I kept on running my practice because my idea of working for God was not for money. It was not for tithes. It was to serve. So all the time I was in Redeem, I didn't earn a penny from the church. Not at all. If anything at all, the money that I earned, I put into the work I was doing because I believed it. And I was making money. You understand? So the church didn't pay me anything. I mean, if I traveled for church, they'll pay the expenses. But other than that, nothing. And we built a great church in Bagada, Christ Church. If you go there, it's still one of the leading buildings of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. And we had plans to build this 12-story that you were talking about.
Your office will be.
Where my office will be, and so on and so forth. We built the church. Beautiful church is still there. We bought the land at the back. We're going to build a 12-story, like with helipad on top. Similar to what City of David has done. By the way, we started City of David also. Pastor Esco, Pastor Tony, myself. In the Redeemed Christian Church of God. So it was from City of David that I went to Christ Church. Some people don't know the history, but it's not important. For one reason or the other, I had to leave the Redeemed Christian Church of God in the year, I think it was 2010 or so, 2009. So I went back home, and I stayed at home, not knowing what to do with myself, at least Christian-wise, because I had left the Redeemed Christian Church of God, and I had no church to go to. And I was there with my wife, my new wife, and we're there. And I didn't know what to do. So for a year, I bounced around, going to different churches. But my only problem with those churches is that they won't let me rest. As soon as I get into a
To
church,
get you up.
they knew me, Pastor Ituah, sit here, sit there, sit there. I said, I haven't come here to sit anywhere. I just come here to serve God.
Yeah.
Then after a while, some churches there saying, come and walk with us. Anglican Church, Methodist Church, Cherubim and Seraphim, Pentecostal. Everybody was saying, come. If they don't want you in Redeem, come and join us. I said, I'm not sure that's what God is telling me.
Mm-hmm.
Then one day I heard the word Trinity House. And I said, what does that mean? I said, Trinity House, why don't you go back and do what I asked you to do? Mm-hmm. And that's how Trinity House started. So we started again from ground zero. Okay? So that's why you see a bit of a construction site and the grace of God. We started again from ground zero. Okay? So by the time we were starting Trinity House again, I said to myself, I want to build a simple, efficient, I don't want to invest too much of church money in brick and mortar. That is just brick and mortar and it's a bit of a show off. I wanted something simple, efficient, comfortable, where people could work. And I needed something quick because I had to start all over again. And if you know church takes about 25 years to mature.
Wow.
About 25 years.
25 years?
For a church to mature. Okay? It takes you spend 5 years or 6 years in the wilderness using halls. And it's very distressing, because you have to pack, unpack. I had done that in Christchurch before they found land. And then when we finally found land, took us about 6 years to pay for the land. Then build, took us about 3 years to build. That was even quick. We've settled into 3 years. We built in 3 years. It was very quick, very efficient. God blessed us. God helped us. God encouraged us. Then you are settling in the land, and then you are now planning to now build the second phase of whatever. When this happens, so you have to, it's like snakes and ladders. You go back to the beginning again. Very stressful. Very, very stressful. But God also gave us quick work. That within a year and a half, He'd given us land. It took us a while to finish paying for the land, but it was an act of favor. Person who is not a Christian, a Muslim, walks up to me, says he hears I'm looking for land. I say, I'm looking for land. Say, this land is mine. He says, how much? 1 point something billion. I said, I don't have it. I don't have it. 1.4 billion at the time.
What?
Almost 12 years ago. You can imagine 1.4 billion 12 years ago.
What?
It would be about 7 billion now. At that time, it was a lot of money. And I didn't have it. Honestly, I was just starting church. I was using a civic center, Jimovia's place, when we couldn't. And I want to thank Jimovia because he really supported me. Not with money, but at least he allowed me to use the center. Gave me 2 Sundays free. Wow. And subsequently, he allowed me to pay as I had. And a young church, no money. So sometimes we won't pay. But he didn't allow anybody to touch me. After we found it a bit tight because of midweek service, we moved to Landmark. Landmark again, the Landmark Center, you see, was just 1 tent. Nothing there. In fact, the guy running it was struggling because he was just doing events there and there was nothing there. So they also approached us and said, why don't you come and be doing your services here? Hoping that if they had an anchor tenant, they would be getting regular income. So that's why we got to Landmark. They wanted us to use their tent. 2 weeks before we started, they said the tent was booked. Fortunately for me, my wife was doing events. She had a few tents she used to rent out. I commandeered one. I put it on Landmark ground, and we started our church from my wife's tent. With the agreement with Landmark that if my tent was free, they could use it as a second tent.
Very good.
I think they used it once or twice, and then we paid them rent for the land. And we ran it like that for another 2 years or so. When this gentleman shows up and says, I hear you're looking for land. I said, yes, I'm looking for land.
How did you get the 1 point something billion?
I told him I didn't have it. He said, it doesn't matter. He trusts me. I should pay as I go.
So you go. How many years will that be?
So I didn't have the money. So I started praying. One day, a young boy walks up to me and gives me a total of 100 million naira. A young boy.
In Nigeria?
In Nigeria. Never met him before. I can't mention his name. He just said he heard about me, he heard what happened to me. I should take 50 million.
Wow.
After another 3 weeks, sends me another 50 million.
What?
After another 4 weeks, he sends me 25 million. I'd never seen him before in my life. It's like someone like you. In fact, it looks like you. Sending somebody to me and gifting me that money.
Wow.
He wasn't even a member of my church. So I took the 100 million and I gave it to the landowner. I said, this is deposit. He said, with or without deposit, move into that land.
Good God.
Only God can do that.
Yeah.
So we moved into the land. And of course, because we couldn't afford brick and mortar, we imported the 25 million naira, imported a tent for us from China. That's the tent you see there today. Okay? We moved in first with my wife's tent from Landmark.
Yeah.
That same tent we're using Landmark, we moved into the land with that tent.
Amazing.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then built up money. That tent you see cost us 50 million naira then.
That tent?
That tent you saw on Sunday. So we sent 25 million naira to China and they brought us that tent. It's a 5,000 seater, semi-permanent tent.
Okay.
And we planted it on the ground because we needed to do something quick.
Yeah.
We didn't have time to start doing building plan, this and that, building permission. We planted the tent there. And from then, we've built temporary buildings around it.
Yeah.
But they are temporary buildings that with some structural work can become permanent. And that is why you saw something looking temporary, but something efficient.
Yeah.
You have not spent billions of naira creating a good environment where people can worship God. And therefore, when I now needed an office within that, we bought a church office, a few on Legally Ayonride. Okay, we bought that. Okay, it was financed by a bank, but we were able to finish paying in about 3 or 4 years. Again, God raised that money for us in a very miraculous way. We finished paying for that. But I found it a bit like double work. I go to SIO, go to church office, come to church.
Yeah.
So after a while, I stopped using the church office. And I moved and I created this temporary place to receive my visitors like yourself on a Sunday. Okay, now we're building the proper office at the back. But it's not 12-story. It's a simple 2-story, efficient building that will do the administrative work of the church. Then I can now settle down and look at that land and decide exactly what now to put there in an efficient way without disrupting the present ecosystem that will give some kind of permanence. But then again, I'm not going to waste too much money on brick and mortar. I think that money can go to education, can go to empowerment, can go to health, can go to teaching people, can go to the poor, can go to making life better for people, rather than building a grandiose something or the other. Anybody who wants to do that is welcome. But at my age and stage, I think there are more efficient ways of using money and without losing your comfort. Okay? So that's what I'm racking my brain about. How can we build something simple, something efficient that will not take away too much resource and will allow resource to be available to help people? A church should have a great farm where lots of people are employed and members are earning money and members are adding value to the country.
Focus.
The church should have a great farm. A church should have a great school that is educating both children of the rich and the poor and so on and so forth. A church should support medical facilities. A church should do a lot of empowerment for people. A church should support government to make sure that there's infrastructure The road in front of our church, now with the highway, they've destroyed it. But we built that road. Okay, when we got to that strip, there was no road. Okay, but the minute we built that road with our own resource that God provided, the whole place transformed. People started bringing their businesses and everything there. And I saw firsthand the power of infrastructure in national development. We'd done it in Christchurch. When we got to Christchurch, we tarred the entire crescent because it was all a pothole crescent. People around didn't care. And I said, no, you can't leave. So I went around my neighbors, bring me money, bring me money. Some brought, some didn't bring. But the bulk of it, we provided, and we tarred that crescent. And that crescent had a new look. So I know the power of infrastructure. In Christchurch, we built police toilets, we built police borehole, we painted police cell, we added police buildings, we built buildings for schools. In fact, we took over the hospitals around us, General Hospital and things, gave them generator, gave them bed sheet. As we did church, we did social work. As we did church, we did social work. Because a church and a people have to be relevant wherever they serve. And we're doing exactly the same in Trinity House today. Not as much as we did in Christchurch because of the teething problems of restarting. But now we're ready to do that. Every 2 months we feed the poor, we give them free medication, and so on and so forth. I run about 10 NGOs, scholarship for people, 2 motherless babies homes, Empowerment Foundation, a home for the blind. We have a home for the blind. We have a home for the deaf. We have a facility for them. This weekend, we are opening what I think is the first halfway house in Nigeria. And that is, when prisoners leave prison, they don't sometimes have where to go. Their parents have abandoned them. Wife has run away. And if you don't,
it's difficult for them to reintegrate
they will go back to Christ.
Yeah.
So we've built a halfway home.
Yeah.
It was donated. The building was more or less given to us on a very gentle lease by a great family. I don't want to mention their names, but I thank them very much.
Yeah.
They just said, use the building. When you are strong, you can hand the building back to us, and so on and so forth. In fact, I was going to use that building first for prostitute transformation, because we also had a foundation that was doing that. But the lady who was running our prostitute transformation NGO, which she co-owned with us, decided to go and do a PhD, and her mother took sick, so she took off. So I decided to use it for the halfway home for prisoners. So on Saturday we dedicate it, and we're working with Kirikiri Maximum Prison, Ikoyi prisons. For my birthday this year, I gave them a bus. They needed a bus. That's what they said they needed. A couple of years ago, we redecorated the clinic in Maximum. Those are the things I believe a person and a church should do. So that's what we engage ourselves in. And then social business. Social business. A hospital can be a social business. I've mentioned farms. So we're working very seriously now on agriculture and seeing how we can lead one of the biggest farming experiments in Nigeria. Nigeria's problem is not a lot. First one is to feed the people.
Hungry.
If I was president of Nigeria, I would not import food. That's the first thing I'll stop. I'll give everybody 2 years. After 2 years, we're not importing a grain of food. If you want to eat caviar, grow it in Nigeria. I don't believe in alcohol, but if you want champagne, Nigerian champagne. Anything you want with foreign taste, do it here. And we have
Nigerians like foreign tastes.
Do it here. I don't say don't like your foreign taste, but do it here. We have enough cassava, we have enough maize, we have enough yam not to import rice. If you are going to eat rice, grow it here. It's an acquired taste. My great-grandfather didn't eat rice. He ate yam and cassava and cocoyam, and he grew up to be a strong man with plenty wives.
Amazing.
Vegetables, grow it here. Tomatoes, grow it here. Corn, grow it here. I will not import food. And I'll give everybody 2 years to comply. Then after that, we face industrial raw materials, most of which is available here. What is missing is processing it to be an industrial raw material. We can do all the industrial starch that we need in Nigeria. I give you another 1 year to produce your industrial raw materials here. Then we face education. Everybody must be educated and enlightened. That's what Lee Kuan Yew did. Put a premium on education, because the mind that is not exposed cannot improve itself. So you have to expose the mind of the people, educate them, let them know right from wrong, good from bad. But our politicians have weaponized illiteracy, because then you can control the man. He doesn't know who he's voting for. But that's not fair. You need a man that's empowered, that can look after himself. If the man is not educated and upskilled, he becomes a nuisance. True. Becomes a drug addict, and so on and so forth. So educate the people running pari passu with agriculture. Then number 3, provide infrastructure. Roads, rail, light, power. Roads doesn't have to be fantastic road, but it must give access to where raw materials are. Then security. Make the place safe and easy. Security is a combination of people empowerment and good security forces. The money will come. Investors will come. And the investors will develop the place. You don't even need to spend government money to do a lot of things if the environment is suitable. And then Nigeria will grow itself, because Nigerians are brilliant.
True.
All over the world,
Nigerians
are doing phenomenally well. And they're using that intelligence to develop other countries. A lot of countries are being developed on Nigerian intelligence and on Nigerian money. A lot of the money that people get from corruption, they spend abroad to create jobs abroad. They save it abroad to create credit abroad. It's unfair. At the worst, they put it under their beds. It doesn't come back into the economy. That is the craziness of corruption. A misallocation of resources. People who can pay for health don't connect it to corruption. But the reason why they can't pay for health is because somebody somewhere has taken that money and invested it in jewelry, in houses in Dubai, houses in Bahrain, houses in London. There's no street in London that doesn't have at least 2 Nigerian houses. The first thing, or one of the things you must do, is to beg everybody that has money abroad to bring it back to Nigeria.
That's very impossible.
And invest it in Nigeria.
Is that possible?
If you appeal to them, if you beg them, if you show them value,
that
and benefit from it, I'll give them notes. Bring your money back. Some of the money is from corruption. If I know that money is from corruption, bring it back. I'll let you keep 10% or 20% of it. Bring 80% or 60% back. Then those who made their money genuinely from hard work, I negotiate with you. You've worked hard. You have 3 houses in London. Doing what? If he's generating income for you, no problem. If he's locked up, nobody's there. Yeah, it's just a house in your head. Sell that house now, Biko. Keep 1 house. Give me the money. I'll give you a Nigerian note. I'll give you equal land in Abuja or Lagos or Port Harcourt or wherever you want. I'll give you equivalent of the house value in land anywhere you want. I'll even give you some naira for it. Bring the money back. Let me use the money to import raw materials. Let me use the money to import machinery, tractors and equipment. Let me use the money to build a factory in Nigeria. Then I'll tell Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Volkswagen.
Come set up.
Come and set up here. Make Nigeria your West African hub. I have 210 million people looking for cars. Build me cheap car, electric car, simple car. Come and set up here. If you don't set up here in 3 years' time, I won't allow my people to import your car. Innocent, provide us with car. Everybody should buy Innocent. Obasanjo tried to do it. Everybody should buy Peugeot. People were complaining, screaming. But it is a good policy. Peugeot, keep developing and improving your cars until they become Mercedes-like. You understand?
Yeah.
Most of my chairs in my church were produced locally. To be honest, the guy hasn't done a fantastic job. I'm related to the company. My people were complaining. I said, no, let us keep patronizing him so that he keeps improving. Now you're going to take my money to China again and bring chairs from China when you can encourage a Nigerian man to produce similar quality chair, and you keep pushing him till he gets you the quality you want. That's what we should be doing. Are you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know, we produce cocoa. We grow cocoa in Nigeria. We import chocolate from Switzerland.
Yeah, I know.
It's an aberration. They don't have any cocoa trees in
They
Switzerland.
don't.
So how can we import chocolate from Switzerland?
They probably don't even know how to grow cocoa or what the process looks like.
In
But
Switzerland?
They
They don't even have the weather.
Yeah. But they know chocolate.
They can't even do it if they tried. If they could, they would have. But cocoa cannot thrive in Switzerland.
Yeah.
God put cocoa tree here in Ghana, Ivory Coast. The only other place is Brazil. And they took the beans from here to Brazil. Our slaves took it to Brazil. You can't grow in America. You can't grow in France. Only Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Ghana, same weather, Senegal. Same atmosphere, grows cocoa. So why are we buying chocolates from Switzerland? Why are we importing, apart from Dangote, why are we importing petrol? Who does that? They won't make the refineries work because some people are making some dollar.
Yeah, true that.
So what you need to do, you get maybe $1,000 per bag for cocoa. You get $15,000 for the same bag of chocolates. So you are losing $14,000 by not producing here. You are losing employment by not producing here. You are losing value add because when you produce the chocolates, somebody else will produce the wrappers, somebody else will produce the packaging. So in this same place. So you can look at the multiplier effect of exporting cocoa.
Interesting. I'm tempted to ask you a question about you going into politics because I've noticed that you've been very big on nation building and all of that. Is that do you think that is in the pipeline for you?
Going into politics?
Yeah, or governance?
I think it's a bit late for me at my age to actively go into politics. Yeah. Again, I don't have the personal money that Nigerian politicking requires to do it. My brother was fortunate. He got into it in Edo State. He won those elections. Put me anywhere. And let anybody try to disprove it. My brother, Aswerime, won the elections of Edo State in September 2024. The figures were manipulated, were adjusted. They announced whoever they wanted to be winner. It is the loss of the nation, the loss of Edo State. Because my brother would have made a brilliant governor. He wasn't going there to steal money. He had more than enough of his own money. He was going there to serve, and I was going to support him to make sure that we build a brilliant Edo State. Okay? And show an example of governance in Nigeria. And he's a very hardworking man. You know, I supported him not because I thought he's my brother. No, I supported him because I thought by far he would do well. Okay? And that's what we need in Nigeria. Great leadership. Why we will cut our nose to spite our face because of political interest baffles me. Totally baffles me. I don't understand it. Nigeria is bigger than all of us. Why can we not come together as a people and look for the best to lead us? Why are we so interested in our own interests that we would rather have anything in leadership? And we're all suffering. Because those who are wealthy have bad roads. There's nothing you can do about it. You are wealthy, you have a bad airport. There's nothing you can do about it. You are wealthy, you can't go out at night because of insecurity. Each of you in government is carrying 6 mopoles going up and down. Is that life? That's not life.
Too bad.
You are wealthy, but you are not safe. 6 mopoles, 10 mopoles at our resource. I went somewhere recently, I saw a government personnel, big mopo, big gun, big this. Why are you afraid in your own country? They don't know themselves that the reason why they are carrying mopos up and down is because of corruption.
Yeah.
The Belgian president the other day was riding a bicycle. The German chancellor gets on the subway. Maybe 1 or 2 security people. Even the guy in Dubai moves around with 3, 4 people, saving the country money. Governor convoy, 15, 20 cars. Presidential convoy, uncountable. It's corruption. That's causing all that.
Yeah.
As president, I want to walk around my people. I want to come to your house and have dinner. I want to go to the McDonald's over the road. I want to go to the Kentucky. I want to go to the restaurant. I want to live a normal life.
Very difficult to do that in Nigeria.
The British Prime Minister moves around with 3 cars. The Queen, when she was alive, or King Charles, 4 convoy, 5 convoy. And they only do big thing when it's a royal show of display, ceremony. If the Queen is going to the airport, you don't even know. Pata, you see 2 outriders, block this. They're done. Nigeria, you shut the road down because somebody is coming into town. There's no need for that.
Crazy.
This is the issue. So, while I'd love to play a leadership role in Nigeria, I don't think I have the resource to engage in the politics that the way they demand it. It's a very money-intensive business. My brother was lucky because people saw his capacity, and they said a lot of people gave. A lot of people gave. He didn't have that money. A lot of people gave. They gave and gave and gave and gave. They said, this is hope. This is hope. I don't know if you'll have people who do that again. And in spite of that, the votes didn't count. We did ourselves an injustice in Nigeria. We did ourselves an injustice in Nigeria. The results will show in the future.
It will show.
If it's politics and democracy, let it be politics and democracy. Let the votes count. It is not win at any cost. The whole of the federal government machinery moved into Edo State. Who does that? This is the problem in Nigeria. Voter apathy, this is the problem. Lack of excitement, this is the problem. Good people going into politics, this is the problem. A good person will not go into politics if he doesn't have a fair chance. My brother gave up chairmanship of Nigerian Breweries, chairmanship of Sterling Bank, chairmanship of some oil company, about 4 chairmanships. He gave up to run this business. The people thought he was mad. He says, no, I want to serve my people. I don't want my grandchildren to ask me, what did you do? I did my best. So we lost an opportunity in Nigeria to showcase ourselves as the pride of democracy in Nigeria. Politicians may have gained, but the nation lost. The African continent lost. Edo State lost. So we have to reverse that thinking. And I think if this government wants to do it, they have the capacity to do it. We just need the willpower. And posterity, we thank them. Children unborn, we thank them. The whole world, we thank them. It is greater than any money, bigger than any office. Nigeria is bigger than all of us. Part of Nigeria's problem is not many people think for Nigeria. Not many people are interested in Nigeria. Not many people are thinking for the benefit of Nigeria. There's no nationalism.
True. Selfish interest.
That's the worst problem in Nigeria. So we need to change the thinking of the people. It's not just the leaders. The average Nigerian thinks like that.
True.
That's why they spend so much money on party, so much money on clothes, so much money on cars, so much money on luxury. Because everybody's selfish. I have to booger. It is me. And that is the thinking that produces the leadership that you have. So the problem is not really the leadership. The problem is the thinking of the people.
The mindset.
And the mindset. So the work we need to do is to change the thinking of the people and their mindset. But it could be faster and quicker if you are gifted with the right leadership that will invest in changing the thinking. The way Lee Kuan Yew did for Singapore. But if you don't have the right leadership on top that can quickly influence the changing of thinking, then it takes a longer time and a more difficult process by the few people who are thinking right, unless God helps us. And I pray and I believe that God will help us, because Nigeria, Africa, it's not just Nigeria I'm bothered about. Africa. Africa deserves a chance. Africa deserves a chance to plant her feet firmly in the Committee of Nations. When they are discussing world affairs, Africa is not at the table because of the way we have positioned ourselves. They finish their UN, they finish their UNGA, they finish their whatever they call it, World Bank. Then they come and announce to you that this is the way we're going. It shouldn't be so. Africa is the greatest continent with the most resource. They are commanding our resource because we are not at the table discussing with them. If that was so 100 years ago, 150 years ago, it should not be so now.
True.
Our leaders should have come together to say, no, Africa must be at the table. We must tell you what we want in this world that belongs to all of us. That mentality must change. Then we feel subservient to them. We go cap in hand. We go begging them, this and that. We go asking them, our president is sick, the governor is sick, they're going abroad for medical attention. Who does that? Why doesn't Donald Trump come here for medical attention? And by the way, the king of Saudi used to come to Ibadan for medical attention.
What?
Yes. The king of Saudi used to come to UCH in the 60s for medical attention. From there, they attracted a generation of doctors from Nigeria to Saudi Arabia. If you ask questions, they will tell you that a generation of doctors, my mother's generation and a little bit below, most of them ended up their careers in Saudi Arabia when Nigeria became tough for them. Because the king of that area came here, saw the quality of medication and attracted them. Because they didn't have enough medical resource. So if you go to Saudi Arabia till today and places like that, UAE and things, you will find a lot of Nigerian doctors. Some of them stranded there. But even nearer home, There's no UK hospital you go to, you won't find 20-30%. Yeah, you live in the UK. 20-30% of their staff are Nigerian. I was in King's College Hospital 2 weeks ago. As I sat in the reception, taking a meeting, every 5 or 6 people that passed greeted me.
I know.
Every 5 or 6 people that passed said hello to me. Most of them Nigerians, 1 or 2 Ghanaians who'd seen my whatever it is and knew me, and they all were working there. In fact, they didn't allow me to have my meeting. Same thing happened when I went to Royal Free. Almost everywhere I went, you see a black face, Lola. You see a black face, Ken. You see a black face, Emeka. We went to SWAS for Sanusi's graduation. Most of the people there, again, a chunk of the graduates, Nigerians. 3 or 4 of the PhD people, Nigerians.
That's great.
The head of the African Studies Center, Nigerian. I went to King's College. I was busy having a meeting with a Nigerian professor, the first woman professor in King's College, Nigeria.
Yes.
So when I was having a meeting with the professor, the Nigerian male professor, as I was chatting with him, a girl pops out her face. She's doing a PhD. She turns out to be my friend's daughter. Nigeria. Brilliant people. We need that brilliance here.
I want to ask you a question, and I've struggled with that question, but I'm hoping that you'll be able to answer it. Are you happy?